DiscoverCuencaEcuador.com, DiscoverQuitoEcuador.com, and Heaven Ministries. Thanks for coming. You know, we've done a couple of videos already about 12 annoying things about Cuenca, Ecuador, and that was just to balance out a lot of the hype about a place, and it was meant in a positive way, as we said in the other video. You know, people have been asking for an update on the 12 annoying things about Cuenca, Ecuador, and we have a lot of updating to share, and that's why we're making this video. Remember that we have over 500 videos. I know it's not that many. We're going to be making a few more. But this isn't the only video. So if this series of annoying things about Ecuador is the only video you've seen, we urge you to look at the other 500 videos. Obviously, we're not so annoyed. We're so annoyed with Ecuador that we're still here 4 years later. We loved the U.S. so much that we left. We had to leave because we just loved it so much over there. My last things were the cost of setting up a household. So when you tell somebody this is cheapest, you can't let them feel like they can't come down here with no money. You have to come down here with some money, because as I explained in the other video, it actually is quite expensive to set up a household. Now that annoyance is gone for me, because 4 years later, your household, we built all the furniture. You know, I'm happy as a clam, and I don't have any annoyance about that at all. My second annoyance when we first arrived 4 years ago was how bad the internet was, and it was very bad as we previously described. But I'll tell you right now, Etapa has done a 100% improvement. I mean, they come out when they say. Now back then they didn't. They'd say they'd come out and then they didn't. You know, we've had them out several times because of interference from the weather, and they come out when they say. Somebody calls back and confirms or verifies whether somebody has come here, whether they've repaired it, the internet, and so they're a lot more professional. I have to give a 2 thumbs up to Etapa. They have just done a 180-degree turnaround, and they're just way better than they were before. The internet is also way better than it was before, much more acceptable, a lot closer than to what we had before we moved from the States. Not to compare, but still not quite that good, but much better than it was before. So no complaint whatsoever about the internet. Now, don't misunderstand, this has nothing to do with any other parts of Ecuador, especially the coast, where the infrastructure has got some issues. So do we want to say now what our new annoyances might be?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I hate this, but
this isn't a recap session.
I have a new annoyance. I mean,
Okay.
I have a new annoyance. The past annoyances are gone. They're not annoyances. But I hate to say, but you know, and I say I hate to say, I said in the other videos, I'm hesitant to say, because we do love Ecuador. We're still here 4 years later, you know. Okay, well the hardship is that they have taxed shipments to Ecuador. You know, people write in and are very kind, Ecuadorian bilinguals from the United States that like us are very kind and say, hey, I like you guys, I like what you're doing, and I'd like to ship you something. And you can't do that. You can't ship me anything because of the taxes now. The taxes are onerous. They'll make a $20 item cost $100, and there's no way frugal folks like us are going to spend $100 on a $20 item.
Especially when you want to buy a $20 item every day.
Well, as I said, there's 5 of us, so if you need a $20 item, he needs a $20 item, everybody has to spend 100 instead of 20. It's no longer just a few pennies. And a lot of people may not identify with it, because I know that people can be, you know, when you're in different stages in life, you may not buy as much as people that are in an earlier stage in life. I think that younger people buy more, is what I'm trying to say. So I think it's a hardship for families. Again, we still like it here, and there's way more positive than negative, so that's my 2, 3, 4, 5 cents.
Okay. My 3 things that were annoying to me when we first moved here was that there was no thrift stores. Okay, that doesn't bother me anymore because, as you can see, like Frank said, my wonderful sons, built all my furniture for me. I have everything I need. Also, that there's more gringos here now, and a lot of them come here and they set up a house and they have all this furniture, and then they leave 6 months later or to a year later. So there's a lot of things now for sale online
More
on
than
the
before.
gringo portals. So if you need something, you can always get it at the gringo portals now. My other annoyance was the weather. Everybody said it was really perfect weather here and everything, and I'm coming from the southeastern part of the United States where it was hot, very hot and humid. So when I got here, I was cold in my house because there was no central heating. And since then, I've gotten two things have happened. I now have a very good gas heater, which I love. It works fine. And I have adjusted to the weather.
Amazing.
I have adjusted to it. The house, even in the wintertime, doesn't seem as cold to me, but I still, I need my heater on every
Can
day.
I just
the
jump
winter.
in? And I think that when we first got here, we didn't realize it was June and it was the winter here.
Oh yeah,
And
that was it.
that's
That was
another thing, because
thing.
you see I'm not wearing my flannel or my hat, and that's because it's December,
Well,
which
it's
is
summer.
here, so they do have seasons, even though they don't have seasons. All right.
Yeah. And my other annoyance was the Ecuadorian adult men peeing in the streets, just wherever they. I don't see it as much, but it still goes on, and
He's gotten used to
it
it.
doesn't. I'm just used to it,
It's not as bad, but
Yeah,
it's still
it was a culture shock to me because I've never seen that in the U.S. where I'm from ever. And
Well, one of the ways to get used to it is, if you can't beat them, join them. I'm
Oh, no.
Ecuadorian now, not to cut you off, but I don't have any annoying things anymore. They have my list here, my other annoying things, smog and staring. Well,
They don't stare.
enjoy a good cigar and you get used to the staring. I just stare back, can't beat them, join them.
Actually, there's a lot less staring. There's a lot less staring than there was.
Yeah, they
There's
got
so
used
many
to it.
gringos here now that
Yeah.
you're just not a novelty.
Yeah.
So did I cut you off? Are you still going?
No, it's fine. I just wanted to say that the three annoyances that I had really aren't annoyances anymore.
And what are your new ones? Do you have any?
The shipping, same thing about the shipping. That's
Well, like
hardship.
I need to
Really good.
replace the Berkey filter. Instead of paying $45, it's going to cost
I know.
$120. So, okay.
All right, next.
New annoyances? I don't think I have any. So.
Oh yeah, you don't have any new annoyances.
I like it here now. It's fine. I liked it before and I like it more now. I
We
live
liked
here.
it
This is our
when-
home.
We liked it when we got here, and we like it. We're still here, so we still like it.
Mhm.
Let's hear what
Apologize.
Angelo has to say.
All right, my original annoyances were the mailing system and the pricey electronics. Now, before they messed up the mailing system, the pricey electronics wasn't a huge deal because I could, ship stuff in.
Still order stuff.
Yeah, I can't do either of those now because, what I want either isn't in Ecuador or it's twice as much. And, if you're buying a $100 item, it's $200. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
My new things are, well, basically I'm still annoyed with those two things. If you do any kind of online gaming or if you like to buy digital products online, a lot of that stuff, a lot of that content isn't available in Ecuador. I don't know if that's because of different copyright laws or whatever, but there's stuff that is not allowed in Ecuador, even on digital
There,
items.
you know what? There are expats though that have a way to mitigate that with the technology. I think that I was talking to a fellow that bought a what do you call it? A box that gives them a USIP. Yeah. So we should look into that.
Mm.
Yeah.
If you play any kind of online gaming, mom and dad said the internet was better now, whatever. For my needs, they're not good enough.
Is it
The
slow?
internet's not good enough. Yeah, it's too slow for online gaming.
Huh. What happens?
Why don't you give an
It's
example
just too
about the
slow.
pink?
The game is slow. It slows the game down.
Well, people who don't play video games online aren't going to understand what I'm talking about, so it doesn't really concern them. But people who play online gaming on the computer know what I'm talking about. They know what slow internet is when it comes to playing video games.
You
So
have to perform
no
at a certain
explanation
level.
needed.
digitally speaking, you have to perform at a certain
Well,
level.
when the other guy you're playing against is in the U.S. and he's got internet 10 times faster
A
than
20th of a second ping, and I'm at, 5th of a second ping.
Okay, so you're at a disadvantage to your opponent.
It's
You don't like
it's
that.
like a stormtrooper's blaster going against a nowadays rifle. Bullets a lot quicker in a blaster. That's the difference.
Speaking of smog, I actually decided that was never an issue for me, but now it is because they're putting the new tram in, and what is it? Are they single lane still? There's no, the traffic's
Las
all
Americas?
backed up, so now
Yeah.
buses and big trucks are going by
Oh,
at
by the
night.
house.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
And I like to sleep with my window open because I like a breeze at night. And this happens on a regular basis now. I will get diesel smog fumes in my bedroom while I'm trying to sleep, and it's no,
Yeah,
I don't
it's-
like it.
it's-
And we're not even on the main road. We're
We're not-
off the main road. But
Yeah.
now they're starting to cut around, use the back roads a little bit more, and now
They're detouring the traffic.
They're
due to the
detouring and
construction.
they're coming by.
yeah, and
here.
now the smog's getting in the windows,
Yeah.
and I really don't like that at all. So.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Nothing like a good cigar.
Huh.
Brandon doesn't smoke. He's being funny.
Only when I leave the house.
He's being facetious.
Out the street.
Now, did I say things I liked about Ecuador? I do want to say that I just, when we first arrived, we wanted to balance out the hype. And so we said these annoyances, and a lot of times some people focus on that. And it is important to people that want to know the other side of the story. But there are other things like that are just amazing to me, that are still amazing to me about Ecuador and why I like Ecuador. One of the reasons we came here was for that family culture, and every time we get on a bus, I just smile. We both just smile at children, and they smile at us, and we play with them, and it's just irresistible to me to see the beauty of these families getting on the buses, and I just love it. I just love being around children and families, and it's just amazing. It's still amazing after 4 years, and I think it always will be.
Yeah, people have babies and
Babies
things,
and fathers with their children, and
Fathers are hands-on here more than.
yeah. With the taxis, that's another improvement. There's so many improvements now. The taxis have now been metered, and all the arguing about fares is gone. And I just love the feeling of being able to get in a taxi and just paying what the meter says. Before the metering, I knew it was a $2 ride, but since I'm a gringo, hey, it's $3 or $4. So that's all gone, and I just love that, because I would just, the agony of getting in a taxi, I would just avoid them completely. But nowadays, I use them a little bit more than I did before.
Well, I think that the meter may be a little lower for short distances, but when you're going a long distance, it's about the same
It's
as you
about
paid
the same.
before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because it was over $3 from the airport, and that's what it was before.
That's what you could pay before, yeah. Ecuador's improved. The internet's a little faster now. It doesn't cut out as much. Taxis are easier. Now you just get in the cab and see if he turns the meter on. If he doesn't, then just
Then you
get out
and go to
or
a
pay him
taxi.
what you think it's worth.
Okay, we're updating our 12 annoying things about Cuenca Ecuador. We've been here now going on 4 years. And it's time to update it, because there has been some changes. And there's also been some perceptions changes, I think, too. I mean, for me anyway. So, but it's not just to complain about what's annoying. It's just that when a place is being pumped as much as these places are in the news about how everything is paradise, and then a person comes down here and sees different than what they're hearing, I just want people to know, so there's a lot of people come here and then leave, so it's important. People want to know this stuff. So I don't have a complaint. Now, do I want to replace that complaint? I will say that there are things that I didn't complain about before that now seem more pronounced to me. And one of them is, you've seen me in other videos with a bandana, and I don't know, the euphoria of being in a new place, you're not really, I don't know what it is. Something's under your nose. You're not really looking at it too much. You're not paying attention because of the euphoria, the newness and everything else you're thinking about. But really, Brandon had complained about the smog, but I'm with Brandon. I'm jumping into his camp because we have made it a habit now that we walk every day. And it's just for just to not be sedentary. And the smog is a big, big problem. It's getting to me so much that I'm just, I'm not happy about it.
But we got
honestly.
it pretty much under control with a bandana. And
I have the bandana.
It's not a deal breaker.
I think that just being the health conscious person that I am, it's a big disappointment because
Yeah, the smog can get kind of,
Smoggy.
it can give you a headache if you're out in it too long, if you're out in it all day long, walking and
Well, you
stuff.
can't breathe when the bus goes by and there's a bunch of smog on your face. You can't breathe.
who would want to breathe? It's suicide. It feels like it. But anyway, I love so many things about Ecuador
We
and
know
Cuenca.
it's going to get better with the light rail when it finally gets in.
I love so many things about Cuenca and Ecuador. I love the river walks. I love the scenery of the rivers. I like the fact that I have zucchini growing in my garden. Zucchini in
I
November.
think after you've been living here for a while, you just start getting used to things that that are just the way they are.
It's the way it is, you know. What are you gonna do?
As far as restaurants go, I mean, Ecuador's, it's got some good grilled chicken and it's got, simple foods that are good, but if you want something, a little bit different,
More contemporary, more
a little bit more, I don't know.
like a
I
Mexican meal or
think
something.
Angelo likes a good steak now and again that we used to get back in the States. That's what he's talking about. The steak here is
Whether it's steak.
But I mean, I can survive without that kind of stuff.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that.
We cook in this family. We're not people who don't know how to cook, so.
Yeah, we cook whatever we
Yeah,
want.
we cook whatever we
You
want.
want Mexican? There it is. It's just Italian food.
I cook too.
Oh yeah, he cooks
Sometimes.
once in a while. Huh?
Italian food, Mexican. It just seems to me that after you've been gone from North America for a while, the tendency is to think about the good things that you miss, and you forget about all the negatives that you left behind in North America. Because let's face it, we did leave North America, and it wasn't because everything was perfect in North America. People like to say, "Oh, hey, you're complaining about my country. I'm going to talk about your country." Well, go ahead. What are you wasting your time on our website for?
Well, I really wish Ecuador had a first-class mail system. I would be
Yeah,
a lot
that would be
more.
nice.
I would be happier. But
I
Yeah,
think you're
okay.
going to
I've
wait
said
a
enough.
long
I've said
time.
When we first moved to Cuenca, we had all these really nice expats that wanted to bring us stuff. They'd say, "Is there anything we can bring you, Frank and Angie? We want to meet you." And now,
Now they don't like us anymore.
now they,
We're whiners.
they still want to meet us.
okay. But I do have something that I do like about Ecuador a lot, and that is that I am a student, and being here is cheap, and I have a lot of free time. I have free time to study and learn. Now, I can survive without mail, but I'm not going to live here forever. So.
But surviving is not paradise.
No, Ecuador is, I will admit, I have to say this is honest, Ecuador is not paradise for me. But I don't think anywhere is paradise. I mean,
That's a blow.
Right. Nowhere is paradise.
nowhere is paradise, but at some point I'm going to have to live somewhere where there's a first-class mail system.
Well, the reason why we did the 12 Annoying Things video in the first place was because Cuenca was being hyped as a paradise. That's the only reason.
It was a response.
To that,
To
not so much complaint.
It's not that we really want to complain, it's that we want to make we want to even out.
Exactly. Where's the balance if
the
everybody's
balance.
saying good stuff
We
about
wanna have-
Cuenca, Ecuador? And the reason why we did this video is because my stepfather, when I called my mom, he said to me on the phone, "Now, Angie, you have so many nice and good things to say about Cuenca. There has to be some negatives. Is there anything negative about
Was she looking
Cuenca,
at
or is it all
Blog.
good?"
I don't think,
That's
it's
what he said
Cuenca,
to me.
just Cuenca, it's just Ecuador. You can go to
Yeah.
Quito and the mail system's going to be the same thing.
Sure, yeah, it doesn't
Exactly.
matter whether you
That's
go to
right.
Quito, Cuenca, it doesn't matter. But listen, I read around, and a lot of people read around other blogs like Panama. People say the mailing system in Panama is no good. There's just a lot of things that are just not really picking on Ecuador. I don't think it matters whether you go to
I think
Ecuador.
it's South America, really.
Well, Central America, South America, maybe even Eastern Europe. Who knows? I don't know. I do know that we did leave a very, people like to say bad things about the U.S. postal system. Listen, you don't know what
It's
you're talking
heaven.
about. You need to leave the U.S. and then tell me about how bad the U.S. postal system. I don't care if you're losing money or whatever, but that thing is reliable. They get the mail there. But anyhow, it's not a commercial for U.S. postal. But when you're leaving a situation and your standard of living actually has gone down in certain respects.
areas.
And for people to say you're going to a paradise, but your standard of living in many respects has come down, it just doesn't really add up to me. Now, I'm not saying my standard of living hasn't gone up in some ways, because it has. I love having a garden. I garden year-round. I got zucchini in November. I've got cool weather beans year-round. I got greens year-round. I wasn't able to do that, you know, in the
Not year-round.
mid-Atlantic. No, it was only a
We did
5-year.
have gardens,
There's
honey.
only a 5-month growing season up there, and here I can garden year-round, so I love that. And be able to get out of the house and put my shoes on and walk around every day
Yeah.
of the year. I think that, as we said, we were just responding to the unbalanced promotion, hyped up promotion, and we're just updating that. And I think that I still like the place enough to want to be here.